Through all of the processing of the evidence, it was determined that it was not a suicide, that she died from manual strangulation.
Next at 11, a man is accused of strangling his live-in girlfriend who was found with a zip tie around her neck.
A Pizza Hut manager accused of raping his teenage employee. How another coworker was able to find help.
And an Orange County Sheriff's deputy is arrested, accused of racing his motorcycle on the streets of St. Cloud. How investigators say he put other people's lives in danger.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Now at 11, Sanford police have arrested this man and charged him in the death of his live-in girlfriend.
Joyce Cartagena Clemente was found dead inside her Sanford home last month with a zip tie around her neck. WESH's Gil Pasco Brown has the details on the investigation. Also from Sanford tonight, a local man is now charged with the murders of his former girlfriend and the unborn child she was carrying.
Homicide, murder in the first degree, premeditated, 2 counts.
21-year-old Donovan Faison was ordered held without bond today in connection with the death of 18-year-old Kaylin Fingo. Fingo was found shot to death at Coastline Park in Sanford last November. Sanford police say the two got into an argument because Faison wanted to terminate her pregnancy and that her refusal was the motive for her murder.
This man is accused of raping a teenager who worked for him at a Pizza Hut in Kissimmee. Deputies say 31-year-old Calvin Cook asked the 16-year-old victim to clean the bathrooms, then followed her in, locked the door, and forced her into sex. Another employee heard what was going on and called 911. The sheriff says Cook had interactions with the victim in person and sent her nude photos on Snapchat. Cook allegedly confessed and is now charged with sexual battery. This man from the Villages is accused of distributing child porn. The Sumter County Sheriff's Office says Gary Solsinski had hundreds of images of child sex abuse, including children under the age of 4. He's charged with transmitting and possession of child pornography. He's being held on $450,000 bond.
An Orange County Sheriff's deputy has now been reassigned after he was arrested for allegedly racing his motorcycle. WESH's Luana Munoz explains what led up to his arrest.
A 19-year-old is accused of breaking into a gun shop and using his car to get inside. Orlando police released this video today showing officers stopping Edward Camacho after the break-in. They say he dropped several stolen guns while he was running from police. Camacho is charged with armed burglary and grand theft.
A strict ordinance on panhandling can no longer be enforced in Daytona Beach. A federal judge in Orlando filed a preliminary injunction preventing the city from enforcing that rule. In a lawsuit, plaintiffs said the ordinance making panhandling illegal in most parts of the city violated their First Amendment rights. Court documents say they depend on solicited donations to survive. Now, we reached out to the city to see if they will challenge this ruling, but have not yet heard back.
Search continues for a Merritt Island man who disappeared while windsurfing on the Banana River during Hurricane Idalia. Brevard County deputies, the Coast Guard, and wildlife officers started searching for 60-year-old Gregory Johnson late last night after they got a call that he had not returned to Kelly Park. Johnston's board and sail were found this morning near the eastern shore.
The state's fire marshal says urban search and rescue teams have completed the most important life-saving task after Idalia. Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Petronas says first responders have finished 100% of their hasty searches, checking flooded and damaged areas. Those teams are now focusing on the Big Bend counties that felt the brunt of the storm. Search teams are going door to door right now to help people get to or away from their properties, especially areas where power is still out.
Brevard County is stepping up to help neighborhoods that suffered harm by Idalia. Melbourne Orlando International Airport supported dozens of Florida National Guardsmen who took off for the disaster zone today. The Sheriff's Office and Palm Bay Fire Rescue are also sending crews and equipment to help. Fire Rescue has planned to rotate staff in and out of the recovery zone for several weeks. WESH 2 will continue to bring you important updates on Idalia's impact on the air and on our multiple online platforms.
To the cases against Donald Trump, the former president pleaded not guilty in the Georgia case, accusing him of racketeering and conspiracy over efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Trump's lawyers submitted the plea in writing, notifying the court he will not appear in person for the scheduled arraignment next week. Trump and 18 others charged in the case were scheduled to be arraigned September 6th.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says there will be no special session of the state legislature to impeach Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis.
Up to this point, I have not seen any evidence that D.A. Willis's actions or lack thereof warrant action by the Prosecuting Attorney Oversight Commission. But that will ultimately be a decision that the commission will make.
Kemp notes that a special session to impeach the DA may actually be unconstitutional.
Crew 6 is getting ready to leave the International Space Station before they undock Saturday morning and begin this long voyage home. The astronauts are now reflecting on 6 months of work in space.
We did 3 spacewalks amongst our Crew 6. We birthed the Cygnus vehicle. We did a lot of maintenance, and hopefully we're leaving the space station just a little bit better than we found it.
Crew 6 is expected to splash down around 1 a.m. Sunday morning. All right, we've heard a lot of tributes to the man sitting next to me here. Coming up next at 11, we will hear from some of our WESH 2 News colleagues about Mr. Jim Payne's career.
It's been a wild ride, and speaking of which, you wouldn't believe it if it wasn't caught on camera. A man driving down the road with a full-size bull in his passenger seat. What police said once they pulled him over. Tony.
Just when you thought you saw it all. All right, let's take a look now at satellite radar. We still have a few lingering showers out there, but things are going to be improving for the long holiday weekend. That story plus a look at the tropics, all straight ahead.
From morning to night, WESH 2 First Warning weather is Central Florida's most accurate. Certified by WeatherAid, now for 16 years straight.
No matter the forecast, we'll help you plan for today.
And to prepare you for tomorrow.
From the first warning of severe storms to the perfect time to get outside.
We have the most accurate forecast around the clock.
That's our commitment to you.
Experience, accuracy, trust. WESH 2 First Warning weather.
This First Warning weather update is sponsored by the law offices of Dan Newland Injury Attorneys.
Custom weather alerts on the WESH 2 app. Download it today.
As you probably know by now, tonight is Jim Payne's final 11 p.m. newscast. He has been a constant on this program for practically his entire 23 years here at WESH. So before he signs off tonight and for good tomorrow at 6 p.m., his WESH 2 family has a few things they wanted to say.
Some personal news to share. My 65th birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
That is not the news. I am retiring from WESH 2 News. My last day at the station will be September 1st.
You're going to be missed. You know that, right?
Man, I am so going to miss you, Jim Payne.
It's the sentiment echoed over and over and over, no matter how long you've known him.
Nobody does it better than Jim Payne. He's just an all-around good guy. He's a motivator and encourager, and
you're over.
for sure someone who can also make you laugh on the set.
I haven't worked with Jim very long, but for most of my career in Central Florida, I've been competing against Jim, and I have always admired him from afar.
I've worked with Jim for a year and a half, but I've watched him almost my whole life.
But first to Washington and the very latest from News Channel 2.
So unique. He's so funny in his own dry dad way, but he's so compassionate.
Here's what employers are looking for most.
And the ultimate professional.
He has become the heartbeat of our newsroom and really the Walter Cronkite of Central Florida.
Jim is always willing to play ball.
If you thought you had missed your chance to see Taylor Swift on the...
It'll be a story about Taylor Swift, and I'll add in song lyrics.
Drop everything now.
And Jim might not know the song, but he will sell that script as if it was written for him.
That's why I didn't know what that was.
Different levels of Swiftie.
Yeah.
He's a journalist with a big J, as we like to call it.
Hey, Jim, we've got breaking. He was the ultimate professional. He couldn't have been better in any situation.
We're following breaking news out of Orange County right now.
Breaking news, there was no one I would have rather worked with on the other end of my microphone in the control room. He would turn whatever I babbled into his ear into something perfect and cohesive.
And when you've worked at the same station for almost 2 decades, as you can imagine, everyone's got a story.
One of the moments that was both funny and embarrassing all at the same time. During one of your charity races, a 5K that we had in Sanford, you gave me a half-mile head start, and about 1.5 miles into the race, you passed me. And no, you didn't slow down to talk a little bit. You just passed me.
So I'm driving, I'm like, whoa, who's that stud, like shirtless? It's Jim Payne.
I'm going to miss running into you at the beach, randomly seeing you running without a shirt on at the hottest time of the day, thinking, what is wrong with that guy? But in retrospect, realizing maybe he's got it all figured out.
I think I'll miss most about Jim, his leadership in the room. We know that Jim is the person who's seen every type of story.
To Stuart's point there, Jim, I probably have never told you directly, but you know that I admire your storytelling ability because we sit out here in the newsroom all the time and in the studio even when I'm obsessing over how to write a story and how I want it to come across. I'll come to you over and over and over, get your input over and over and rewrite over and over, and eventually you'll say, enough, it's done, let it go, it's over, the script is done, turn it in. And I do because I know it's good to go.
So we end this chronicle with where our food begins.
But it's not just his storytelling. It's his character, his relationships with people, his humor.
And that's our report for tonight. NBC.
His impact. All part of a lasting legacy.
He's phenomenal when it comes to being a part of our community, helping our community out, whether it's after a disaster, like a tornado outbreak, Groundhog Day, or it was, Hurricane Ian, Matthew, Nicole, you name it. He got out there. He did his due diligence in helping our community.
I'm so excited for his future, to be near his grandkids, but I definitely will miss Jim Payne. It's definitely the end of an era.
When he's not walking down that hallway anymore, it's going to be a sadder day here at WESH.
We are blessed to work with some really good people here.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
I talked about how I obsess over stories. It took me a little while. There were 45 different interviews. I couldn't get them all into that piece, but the sentiment was the same.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your work on that story.
Yeah, no, of course.
Thanks to all of you for watching all these years and, and all your feedback here and there and mostly your invitations to help. Most of us find it really hard to say no when people like you, want help with something. So just consider that an extension of the WESH 2 family. And, whenever you want to do that, do that.
Yeah, this next chapter in your life, though, is going to be fantastic. We all have different chapters in our life. You're going to meet your grandkids. You got a great place out west. And I'm going to come visit you.
Yeah.
You guys heard that.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Oh, man, I got to change the locks again.
I'm going to miss you, partner. I'm going to miss you.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Summer.
Tomorrow is the big day, so we invite you to join us starting at 4 p.m. for some very special guests and farewells as Jim anchors his final newscast and we say goodbye. You won't want to miss it. Jim's got a lot of his sleeve tomorrow.
A couple little surprises on the way.
Dozens.
Yeah. Tony's got some surprises for us, too. The weather's looking really good over the next couple of days.
Weather with timing, just in time for the upcoming holiday weekend. All right, let's begin. Take you outside right now. Lake Eola looking really, really good out there right now. As you can see, we do have fair skies, not a whole lot going on. Temperatures are pretty comfortable. We're at 79 here in Orlando, 76 Palm Coast, right around 80 in Melbourne. You take a look at that satellite, that radar. We had a good deal of rain today and came down pretty good in several areas. Still a few lingering showers up here into northern and northeastern sections there of Flagler County. That's going to build up towards Marineland. We take a look at the rainfall today. Taft, downtown Orlando, Lake Como, Lake Nona South, 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. Temperatures outside not bad. Middle 70s north and west to right around 80 in Palm Bay and Melbourne. Now, as we take a look at Futurecast out the door tomorrow morning, watching the showers building along the west coast, moving towards Interstate 75 by about 9-10 o'clock. Daybreak temperatures here around 75, back towards the coast in the upper 70s. We take a look at that 12-hour forecast, nearing the 90-degree mark in the villages before the showers and storms get going. In fact, I want to show you how the sea breezes come together as we get you on the Friday afternoon. There's your collision right there around 4 or 5 o'clock. Heavy rain as folks are getting home from a long day of work and a long work week. Rain may linger here up into Marion County, but other than that, I think we're going to be in good shape. Rainfall amounts could easily exceed in some of the darker shades of orange here, 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain, just like what we saw out there today. Middle upper 80s along the coast, back through the interior, upper 80s, low 90s. That is exactly, folks, where we should be for this time of the year. The attractions looking good early. Watch the afternoon showers and storms. Speaking of which, on Saturday, the storms will favor the interior and the western side, but there's the drying trend as we get into Sunday and Monday. But with that drying trend comes another hidden danger. That is the rough surf along the coast. Watch the nearshore breakers and the rip currents here. Going to be their highest as we get into late Saturday, Sunday, and the first half of Monday on Labor Day. Out in the tropics, a lot of activity, but really, for me, I think the only one we need to watch is this feature that'll come off the west coast of Africa and potentially develop towards the middle of next week. So plenty of time to watch it. The models are varying in what they want to do with it. Here's the European computer model, and notice what it does. It takes that feature and drives it very close to Bermuda and then tries to build it back towards the west. Now, when we switch gears here, head over towards the American GFS model, things are quiet through early next week. Here come the waves now off the west coast of Africa. So the GFS does want to develop this wave late Friday and or Saturday. It's a little bit more southerly in its track, so I do want you to keep checking back in to get the updates, and we'll be fine-tuning the forecast there for you going into the latter half of next week. So good deal of coverage of showers and storms on Friday, drying out late Saturday, Sunday, beautiful on Monday. Again, if you're headed to the coast, enjoy yourselves, have fun. Just watch those dangerous rip currents. Notice the temperatures there by the middle of next week. Back to summer, 92 degrees.
Tony, thanks. Something you need to see to believe. A full-size bull riding shotgun down the road in Nebraska. The bull's name is Howdy Doody. The driver, Lee Meyer. Meyer received a warning from police and was told to leave the city limits and take the bull back home. So he did. And we'll be right back.
WESH 2 News, now here for you at 7 p.m. We are adding more coverage on your schedule. Central Florida's biggest stories and the most accurate forecast. It's right here, right now. WESH 2 News at 7 p.m. starting September 11th. WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford, Florida's largest Ford retailer. For upfront pricing and no dealer fees, shop Mullinax, where car buying is simple, easy, fun. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
It is the best time of the year. Welcome back, college football. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltz. FIS UCF embarking on a new journey, a new conference tonight. Their first time on the field as members of the Big 12, but maybe more impactful in the short run because it's a non-conference game. Tonight, we saw the first look at the new offense under offensive coordinator Darren Hinshaw. Yeah, the report back. UC Fast is back. Gus Malzahn not calling the plays anymore, but the Knights do know how to score. First quarter, John Rice Plumlee. Yeah, he still got it. Scampers in for the touchdown from 17 yards out. He's fired up. Knights are up by 14. Before the half, stand-up Trinity Prep. JRP to Alec Haller. He hauls in the touchdown, makes it 28-3 at the break. Second half, it's another hometown hero, Edgewater product, R.J. Harvey. Look at him go. Second touchdown of the night. This one, a 48-yard run. Also had a 50-yard touchdown reception. Knights roll with ease. Undefeated as a member of the Big 12. 56-6 the final score. Pretty good showing for the offense. Pretty good showing for everybody. Wouldn't you say, Kristen Lago, live at the Bounce House?
I think you can say that again. Darren, you know what? History was going to be made tonight at the Bounce House, regardless of what the end result on the scoreboard was. But this is exactly the way UCF wanted to kick off its first season as a member of the Big 12. You said it best. The Knights' offense scoring fast and scoring often. Their defense dominant, not allowing a single touchdown score. Head coach Gus Malzahn and quarterback John Rice Plumlee both telling me postgame that this was exactly the confidence booster this team needed moving forward.
We played well tonight. We beat a team. I think we were more talented, but we played well. We beat them handily. We'll see how it goes, as the year goes on. I do think we got a talented team, but we'll have to keep improving. And once we get to the Big 12 and we play those games, we'll kind of see where we stand.
With a win like this, it propels you, right? But at the end of the day, we know as a team, to be great, it takes one day at a time. And so we're going to enjoy tonight, and we're going to have fun tonight and really celebrate it. We're just dancing around in there, acting like fools in the locker room, having fun. But we know moving forward, it's day to day, right? And you got to get better every day.
Definitely reason to celebrate, but Darren, count it 8 consecutive season-opening wins for the Knights. Live at UCF tonight, Kristen Lago, WESH 2 Sports.
Thank you, Kristen. The Gators left the state for a true out-of-conference road game for the first time in 32 years tonight. Their task, a tough one, as they traveled all the way to Salt Lake City to meet the 14th-ranked Utes of Utah. They get Murray State next week. It'll be a lot better. That's it for sports. More news after this.
This First Warning weather update is sponsored by the law offices of Dan Newland Injury Attorneys.
WESH 2 First Warning Weather and Traffic gets you moving in the right direction.
Whether it's planning your forecast or analyzing the best routes for your commute.
From rainy skies to bumper,
Start your day with us, because our day starts with you.
All right, guys, quick look now at that forecast for the bus stops come tomorrow morning. 78, a few showers off towards the west, building inland, afternoon showers and storms, guys.
Thanks, Tony. Take it away, short timer.
That's our report for tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We are always on it. WESH.com or the WESH 2 News mobile app.
Thank you for watching. We hope you join us again tomorrow night or tomorrow at 4 is when you'll see Jim Payne.
That's it.